What's up, guys? We are on episode 28, and I am not the voice you normally hear at the beginning of an episode. This is because Starla is unavailable for this episode, and instead I have my lesbian husband.
Hello, my name is Scott, and I do apologise. This will be the most scuffed podcast you'll listen to. Everything previous would have been crisp quality. You would have had a bit of England and a bit of America. But unfortunately, Amber looked around and saw whatever was available, and here I am.
Yeah.
And why am I here?
So we are kind of going along the idea that it would be really good to hear what you have thought of Crave in your listen of the audiobook so far.
Yeah.
It's not targeted for
It's
you.
not. It's not. But there's always, my wife likes the thing. She really likes it. So much so she does a podcast every week. And last month, I would say maybe February, I thought, I'll give it a listen. I will see. Because I used to listen to your podcast. I had never, because I knew you did the podcast and you weren't getting many listens. I was like, I will be the supportive husband. And I'd listen to them and get your whole views and everything. That was one view.
Yes.
And that's how I consumed the story. And so there's some stuff when I've listened to it. I'm not even the whole way through the first book. I would say
You've picked up on a lot.
Yeah.
Like when I got caught, it's like I walked all the way to town.
Yeah.
Waited, and it wasn't even available. And then I came back and I was in such a grump. And I was reading on the Kindle and I was just very exasperated, making noises like...
Yeah, that's how I've consumed the series of Crave, is via my wife being angry at certain things, and you'll just be like, oh my god, I can't believe this thing happened, and this person does this, and this is this.
Goddamn tea, I knew it.
Yeah, well, don't spoil the tea, because I don't know much about
the tea.
I know that there's tea involved, but there's nothing that comes from it. And
Well,
I hope
got to be
it
tea
bloody
involved.
does, because it just kind of got ignored.
Yes.
As far as I'm. So
it's a very subtle red herring.
Yeah, I better say where I am. I know, like you said before, I am consuming this slightly different than you.
Yes.
You listen to... I'll start again. You read the books.
I do, and I cannot... I cannot absorb information like you can.
No.
In not in the same way at all.
Oh, because I'm listening to it.
Because you're listening to it, but you can also be doing other things whilst you're listening to it. I think I could probably listen to it, but like in that primary school thing with the headphones sat at the recorder, only listening to the tape cassette.
Yeah.
And reading along with the book as well.
I do you one better.
I need subtitles.
I can do you one better. I listen to it at like 1.5 speed.
Faster.
Yeah, I listen to it a little bit faster. So I'm listening to the audiobook, and I think the audiobook is about 15 hours. And yes.
Is that normal? Is that standard?
15 hours? Yes. I want to say, I think the first Harry Potter book was like 9, but that's quite a small book. And then you get somewhere like The Order of the Phoenix, which is like 38 hours or something. It was really long. So
when you're listening it to faster, does it actually then up the
Well, the thing is, it's not a radio play,
pitch.
is it? It's not a radio. No, it doesn't do the pitch. No, it's not like that. It's not like that. But yeah, it's not like a radio play or a song where it has to follow like a fluid like motion. It's just information. So yeah, I can consume what I need to.
I can't do that.
I can.
No.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. Now there is a downside to this, because there was a scene that comes up where I'll talk about it later. I've got some issues with some names.
So some issues.
I've got some issues with some names. So yeah, I'm listening to the audiobooks, and I am up to let's put it this way. Grace hasn't even started bloody lessons yet.
She never does.
Does she not?
I think, in fact, she maybe does like 3 classes.
She's had her breakfast. She's had her breakfast.
What does she have for breakfast?
Pop-Tarts, she always had fucking Pop-Tarts. I'm like, what is your diet, love? She's eating waffles.
In the middle of Alaska as well, like she's not getting any sunshine.
Yeah.
She's eating Pop-Tarts.
I got some technical issues with Alaska as well. Like everyone seems to be using like Netflix and Wi-Fi, and so does the school have its own Wi-Fi?
I don't know. They seem to have their own sort of supernatural search engine as well that never gets referenced again. It's just I've loaded the computer up with the search engine for the supernatural.
They just call it search engine.
Yeah, and I'm really disappointed that we didn't get like a pun or something.
Well, why not use something, I don't know, just use the word Google. They use Netflix, they use actual songs, they use the real world things. I know, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. And I wonder what the data would be like.
Bad.
But she seems to be having a great time.
Yeah, she's always managing to FaceTime, text people outside of classes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so she's just had her breakfast, and I think she's going to her first lesson, which is...
I thought you said she was going for a walk.
No, she's done... No. I've done 2 stints of listening.
Okay.
First one, she got to the point where she went for a walk.
Mm-hmm. Outside.
She went for a walk outside.
Not the creepy walk around the castle at night that you should never, ever, ever do.
No, not that one.
Okay.
No, see, I don't want to criticize this book too much, because there's a lot of people, your lovely listeners, they love this book.
Well, the thing is, it's not catered for you. It's a very targeted book for teenagers, and it's just the kind of fiction that I grew up with. So therefore, it's really easy for me to digest.
That's what I want to ask you. Actually, is how do you feel about me listening to it? Like knowing you know that I know that you love this book. How do you feel knowing that I'm listening to it? Are you embarrassed?
Slightly, because it's a very, and again, I don't want to insult the book at all, because it's also Grace's evolution as a character. She's growing up. She goes from quite a immature young adult to basically ready to leave school and go to the world.
Yeah.
And she uses AF a lot.
She does use AF a lot.
And
which is great on the audiobook, because it's just like, oh, that was scary AF.
Scary AF.
That was that was creepy AF.
So the way that I would be reading it, I was rolling my eyes a lot. But it is exactly how teenagers speak. They they coin a phrase. Like your friend Lee with Tourette's, he'll pick up a phrase and then it just becomes his entire language for that month.
It does. Yeah.
And it's because that's how culture evolves. That's how teenagers actually drive culture way more than anyone else. And you use terms that I've never even heard of. Like you say that things are clutch.
So if something's clutch?
I had no idea what on earth you were talking about.
Oh, if you're coming in clutch. Yeah. Okay, I wonder what you mean then.
But yeah, because you game...
And
you're talking with your friends online, and you are referring to those things. That is your culture.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering whether that's just what Americans say.
Oh, I see.
Because that's not something that we say as Brits a lot, is it? The AF.
The AF.
No.
No. Well, you came in clutch with that analysis.
Thanks.
There you go.
Thanks. Still don't know what it is.
I don't know. It just means I don't know why clutch either. Yeah, it just means you've done something like out of the blue, like, wow, you saved it. Like, you came in clutch.
Oh, you came in clutch because you changed gear.
Yes, that is exactly where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, as Brits, we understand.
Yeah.
We don't have very many automatic cars. We change gear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I do have other ways that I've consumed this, other than hearing you listen to it and listening to the audiobook, and obviously when we went to America.
Me and Sal and Marco Polo about it all the time.
You do use Marco Polo to message each other a lot about it. But also when we went to America, I was happily being in the living room, and I just hear, just from the distance, like, Ska! Ska!
Hello!
And so I go down to the basement, and you want me to do Hudson lines. Now, I have no idea who Hudson is. I still haven't met Hudson in the book, but I can tell you what I know about him. I know that he's British, and that he's Jackson's brother, but Jackson's not British?
No.
So how does that happen?
They both were born in London.
So why is Jackson not British?
Their parents didn't split up. They're still together for some reason, but I think they went their separate ways. So Jackson grew up...
Like Lindsay Lohan's Parent Trap?
Yes.
Okay.
So that looks like Australian, was it? Is it Australian?
What?
What is Parent Trap?
Parent Trap?
Yeah.
One Lindsay Lohan is in London, and one Lindsay Lohan is in somewhere else.
Oh.
She's in America somewhere.
See, when Lindsay Lohan tries to do a British accent, it does sound quite Australian. Yeah, I think they grew up in different cultures, so therefore Hudson sounds more British when he's angry, especially.
Okay. Does he get addressed?
Yes.
Okay.
Grace asks, because she's a bit confused by it as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, she finds out that they actually grew up separately.
Okay.
And that probably is why they don't enjoy each other's company.
That leads me to the next thing. The other way I've consumed the Crave series is during one of the ASMRs that Starla puts together for the laundry room.
I forgot about that.
I didn't. So I had to read some Hudson lines. Mm-hmm. So I've read Hudson lines twice. I'm the voice of Hudson. As far as I'm aware, no one else has voiced him.
Nope.
But yeah, I didn't know what he sounded like. You just said British, so I think I went a little bit too posh.
You went very soft-spoken, and then when Starla was doing her parts, she said that she sounds like an annoying American girl. And it was like, she sounds a little bit like a salt.
Yeah, well, that's how I read it, because I had not read any of the books at that point, and the way it reads, now we're talking about, you're gonna tell me, otherwise I'm gonna start naming fake books. The second book is called Clutch. It's called Clutch. The second book is called Clutch. And in Clutch, on chapter
54, I think.
Did you make that up?
No.
Okay.
No, I just remember being very excited because it was very similar to chapter 55, which is in the Court of Mist and Fury. Chapter 55 is the one where they actually managed to actually get to that scene. I will
take your word for it. But there, it is a laundry room scene.
Yes.
And now, from that...
Which is everyone's favourite.
Is it really?
Everyone's favourite.
Oh. So there is a recording out there of Starla and I reenacting that. And he came across like quite a creep there.
He is.
Yeah.
He is. He is putting out a front that he is referred to as sardonic, sarcastic, and essentially he has fallen completely in love with Grace.
Okay.
She fell in love with him.
Okay.
She woke up after 4 months, and she doesn't remember anything.
Okay.
And he comes back, and she's still in love with Jackson.
Okay.
And
Hudson went to sleep for 4 months.
They got trapped together.
They?
Grace and Hudson got trapped together.
Yes.
In her gargoyle.
We'll get to that in a sec. Yes.
And we actually find out that time moves a lot differently within the gargoyle as well.
Does it really?
So it wasn't just 4 months that they were together.
Okay.
And when she manages to actually come out of her gargoyle, she doesn't remember anything. Okay. And so she just continues with her day as if she hadn't. And Hudson's just stuck in her head, realizing that she doesn't remember anything that happened and that she's still in love with his brother.
Okay.
So when he comes out, he's very sarcastic. He's very mean to her.
Okay.
And it's because he's trying to give her a reason to hate him so that he's not.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
I will get to that at some point when I keep reading. But yeah, so from that chapter, I know that he's in her head.
Yes.
And yeah, I didn't really know how to do that accent. I just I think I did quite a British accent, but not a little bit...
not quite David Attenborough.
No, I wasn't accommodating like this.
And here we have
a stupid woman who doesn't know anything. And
in the laundry room.
She seems to not know how to make a snowball. Like a bloody idiot. Yes. So, no, I can't remember what I did, but I'll have to go back. I ever needed to do it again. But then again, with research today, knowing this morning, when we knew that Starla wasn't going to be doing the podcast, we were discussing it, and I thought, right, I'll do my dues.
This is all Scott's idea, by the way, guys.
Was it?
This is all his idea.
We did talk about it for a little bit though, but it was more of a.
I didn't force him.
No, yeah. It was more of a case of we had discussed me doing a podcast before, but where I hadn't read the books, and you were going to ask me questions.
Yep.
Having never read it, which is always a fun game.
Just like what you had learned through osmosis of being in the same room at some point with me that I spoke about it.
Yeah. So, no, I thought today I'll do my research. I'd already started the book, so I read a little bit more. So I had got from today, I read, even though it was the audiobook, we'll get there. We went from the walk, where she actually bumps into Jackson and Tea Lady.
Leah.
Tea Lady.
Tea Lady.
The Tea Lady. And then we finished at going to her first lesson.
Finally.
Which maybe she doesn't. I don't even know if she didn't get there. I did my research there. And then I also listened to last week's podcast, which I haven't been listening to. Although I did, I don't listen to them now because I'm now reading the book. I'm now reading the book, and it spoils for me. But it doesn't matter too much. It's not the end of the world.
Are you invested?
No. No. It's
So, if I'm honest, I wasn't invested in the first book.
Yeah.
At all.
Okay.
It was only through the social media where I had seen that Hudson existed, and I was intrigued, like, who is this Hudson?
That would be a very interesting question, because you and Starla both have the same opinion that the first book is not that great. So I'd be interested to hear from your listeners what made them get hooked. Because if the first book is considered not that great, what is it? Was it
Jackson.
Jackson?
It's Jackson. If we did a poll...
Yeah.
I'm going to say 80% of people love Hudson, 100%. And there are 20% of them that are still very much Team Jackson.
Okay.
Doesn't matter that Hudson is amazing.
Okay.
And that does everything.
Well, I haven't
good
met that
with it.
team yet.
No, but everybody loves the way that Jackson is around her. But for me and Starla, who are a bit more wise to the world, we've gone through those bad relationships and we've been with those men that are a bit like Jackson, and that they pigeonhole you, they put you into this box, and that you're not allowed to stray from that box.
Yeah, we got issues with Jackson. we got some issues with Jackson. I did write some notes down. What I had down for Jackson is, bitch, leave Jackson alone. Avoid. How stupid are you? Why is everyone okay with this psychotic kid? That's what I have down as my notes.
He killed his brother.
I didn't even get that far. But there's one thing where she walks to her class and he's going with her, and then she's like, this can't be right because lessons start in 3 minutes and nobody's here. And he's like, yeah, because
everyone avoids me.
Everyone avoids me. They're just waiting for me to, leave or sit down. Like, what a prick. Like, fuck off. Why are we okay with this kid? Like, send him home.
Yep. He killed his brother. And then went back to school.
Is this public knowledge?
Yeah.
Like, everyone knows this?
Yep. In the next couple of chapters, you find out that he killed his brother because his brother was all out evil and was going to murder the world.
Yeah.
But then went back to school the next day.
Yeah, see... I got issues with him. Just like from the first meeting with the chessboard. And that's... just leave him, love. Leave him.
So you have actually got theories about the chessboard.
Well, yeah, I did. They were fresh when I had listened to the first one. But I can't fully remember it now. But it did feel like the
encounters,
the whole story, the encounters was like a game of chess.
Mm-hmm.
And
which you play.
What?
Which you play.
Which I have played. Yes, I wouldn't say I play.
He goes down to the park and sits down on the little tables.
I do, and play old men at public chess tables. I do that.
The little clock.
Yeah. I bring my own clock. No, I don't. But it is. There's an encounter with, I can't remember his names now. You've put me on the spot here. Marc and Quinn, and they're like trying to
corner her.
See, I need to even go further back. What is okay with this rape culture in this school? Why is everyone okay with this?
Yeah, they approach very innocent, naive girls.
If in our first meeting, which is very public in this podcast,
garlic mushroom,
if I had walked up to you and just got right up in your business and put my finger on your chin and made you look at me
and go, I can smell you're different.
Yes, and then start like, but foreshadowing. There's so many things I need to talk about. Yeah, we've got issues. There's the two guys that are happily to just take this girl and throw her out and kill her, or just the whole Jackson thing, and then Flint.
Yes, well done.
That's another issue I have.
The guy that carried her up the stairs.
Flint, Finn.
Oh, I know.
Too similar.
Yeah, we do that. We say Uncle Finn.
I'm listening at 1.5 speed. There is a scene where she wakes up at 7 a.m. or something, and Flint turns up. Flint turns up and is like coming in to check on her. It might be like the day after the snowball fight or something. I can't remember. And he comes in and just like, oh no, it's the day after the party, because he goes, hey, looking nice, ladies. Yeah, because
he's suave.
Yeah. And he just waltzes in, kisses her on the cheek, and the mate's like, oh my god, he's kissing her on the cheek. And then he leaves, and then literally 2 seconds later, Finn comes in, who's the uncle, who we got issues with him as well. He's a terrible headmaster.
He's a terrible headmaster.
What is going on?
He doesn't
here?
make anybody go to classes.
No.
There's exams all the time.
Apparently.
And he also lets kids go back to school like within a week of murdering someone, or at least attempting to murder someone.
Anyway, so Finn comes in. He's now kissing her on the forehead.
Yeah. She's getting lots of kisses.
Yeah, from F people. And I didn't realise because I'm listening a little bit faster than normal when I'm doing things. I'm like shuffling over here and doing my business. And now there's just F people kissing her on the face and everything. So yeah, I forgot where I was going. We went on a tangent.
Rape culture.
Rape culture. This school is absolutely all about rape. That's why we're going to get innocent little girls to come to this school.
Yes.
Take them far away in an isolated castle.
Where she can't even go outside without her dying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This guy like corners her against the chessboard and she's like...
Chessboard, that's where we were.
Chessboard.
We needed to really... Told you this was going to be scuffed. We needed to lay out everything.
This is what me and Starla do all the time. Everyone can definitely confirm that we just go off on tangents.
We've been going for 20 minutes. And we haven't said anything.
Yes, we have.
No, I can see the waveforms, but I don't think we've actually said anything. Yeah, so... chessboard. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it feels like every interaction is like a maneuver in chess. And she is like the I'm going to say the king, which is like the most valuable piece. You maneuver pieces around it to protect it. Uh-huh. And it felt like Quinn. Yeah. Which is way too similar to Finn, which is way too similar to Flint. Like, come on, love, right? Sorry, Tracy. Sorry, love. Yeah, come on, make some new names. So we find out through a lot of the interviews with Tracy Wolff that she got approached by the publishing company to write a vampire romance fiction. What did she write before?
She wrote erotic fiction.
Okay, I definitely get those vibes.
I don't necessarily think that they were supernatural. I haven't actually read any of her other work. It is on my to-do list.
Yeah. This does feel quite softcore. Yeah.
Yes. And... she got really, really into it, but I think that she wrote the first book not realising how far it was going to go and how much she was going to get invested.
This is Crave.
This is Crave.
Yeah.
So she wrote Crave not realising that she loved the storyline, she loved the characters within it, and then she wanted to develop them more.
Interesting.
So Crave was a good book for teenagers. We go into Crush, and then we start to actually develop. Yeah, we start developing the characters and things like that. Mm-hmm. I kind of relate it to almost like a pilot episode. Mm-hmm. It's not quite a first book. It's a pilot episode where you get to understand the world, understand the storyline, and know where they are, set the scene, and then Crush starts the actual story.
Okay.
It is a little bit sad that it is 9 hours. How long was your audiobook?
My audiobook?
Yeah.
It's in 3 parts that are about 5 hours each, so we're looking at
15 hours. 15 hours of content. Mm-hmm. I reckon that we probably could have condensed them down to about 4.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's a very, very short thing. Like, that whole book happens in the space of a week.
Yeah. No, I got that. It's very... for foreshadowing, it's very on the nose.
Yes, it really, really is.
I tell you what, I don't know how stupid this bitch can be.
Yes, she is really not very obvious at all.
Here's what I have down. Grace and Jackson's text conversation, RE, the jokes.
Yes.
You remember the jokes?
Yes, the bad jokes.
So the joke was, well, basically my summary is that Jackson is either a vampire or a snowman.
Yes.
And then literally
he's the snowman.
Maybe a few paragraphs later, sends her Twilight. This is beyond foreshadowing. That's what I have down. But
it's for teenagers who are just getting started into actually adult fiction. So they don't actually know what foreshadowing is. When you're a kid, you're not reading things going, hang on a minute. Mm-hmm. This is putting into something. This is going to relate to something else in the future. You don't really understand red herrings. You don't understand foreshadowing. Mm-hmm. And then when you're a teenager, you are just getting it. So it does need to be slightly more obvious than it would in an actual novel.
Snowball fight, another I've got fingers up here, foreshadowing. Why don't you join us and make a bigger arsenal? And Flint says, that's what I thought I was doing. And then my note was, I get it. Everyone wants to infect the new girl for their special race.
Yes.
That's what I have.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. So did you kind of get the foreshadowing that Grace wasn't quite human?
I don't think Grace is a human. Mm-hmm. I don't think she's existing. I don't think she's existed beyond 6 months ago. She seems to be missing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I have no theories on that at the moment.
I'm not giving you any.
No. She seems to not know anything. She can't pick up social cues.
Yep.
And how can you not make a snowball?
I don't know.
I don't know how you can't make a snowball.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But then we didn't grow up in San Diego. I mean, I suppose it is pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, but kids make, like, mounds of dirt.
Sandcastles.
And sandcastles. I can mould earth. I have the ability to bend matter.
And time.
And I can bend time as well. I don't talk about it much, but I can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. She's just an idiot. That's what I'm getting so far. Why does she have to be ditzy? Why can't she be smart?
Well, we find out that a little bit later.
And I do feel like I don't know how many clans there are. I haven't been told about that.
There's 4 factions.
Okay.
In the party.
Here's what I'll tell you I know, okay? I know of an order.
Yes.
Maybe?
Yes.
Or is the order not quite a group?
The order is like a friendship circle.
On the snowball fight, they're the quote-unquote order are there, but not everybody in the black. She says, it looks like everybody from the school is here, except all the people wearing black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but there's the order.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming they're not quite the same. I'm guessing, well, obviously, other shit faces the dragon. Brilliant. I had to actively think about the name. That's
how
not
did
good.
you work out that he was a dragon?
Because I choked on all the foreshadowing that was being shoved down my throat.
Yeah.
He's wearing
never trust a Draaaa.
He never. Oh, that was. Yep. I did have that written down.
Yeah.
You should never trust a Draaaa. No, never mind.
Yeah. What other word begins with DRA?
Yeah.
That it could have been.
A drug addict. Never trust a drug addict. But then also he's wearing a dragon hat when he goes out to the snowball fight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Ugh.
It's foreshadowing for people who are new to foreshadowing.
It's training wheel foreshadowing.
But at the same time, it's enjoyable for people like me and Starla because there's foreshadowing that we miss. Mm-hmm. And then when we go through it a second time, there are certain things that we're like, oh my god, how did we miss that?
Yeah.
Like you just talking, just saying like, it sounds like she didn't exist before 6 months ago. Like, yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't.
No.
Oh, good.
Not really.
Good.
Like if you get to court, you.
If I get to court.
You get to court.
Nope. If I get to court. I might, I don't know. I don't know how long this will last. It was one of those things that, my wife likes this thing. I'll get involved in that.
Well, they have been, what's the word? Accepted for movie rights. Somebody's bought the movie rights. That obviously doesn't necessarily mean that they will create a movie, but Paramount own the rights.
Oh, Paramount.
Yes.
Oh.
So we could end up with at least a 6-part series.
Not a movie. A series.
Movies.
6-part series. Movies.
Yeah, I don't think Paramount do TV series.
Do they?
Do they?
Paramount do.
Yeah.
So we've got talking about Paramount.
We've got.
Oh, we know that Paramount watched South Park, and now I have to have Paramount to watch South Park.
So we've got Crave, Crush, Covet, Court, Charm,
Clutch,
and Cherish.
And Clutch.
So there's definitely 6 parts, and obviously we don't know what's going to end up being Cherish, so it might actually be 7. We don't know.
Okay. Do you want to hear my guesses?
Mm-hmm. I want to hear your theories. Lay them out.
Now, obviously, I know that she becomes a gargoyle. She develops the power of rock.
Yes.
Yeah.
And which was just weird to read.
Yeah.
I can remember reading it and going...
Yeah. Because you said it out loud. I think I was on the Xbox and you were sat next to me and you going, a fucking gargoyle?
What's she going to do? Statue them to death?
Yeah. I remember you saying that.
She actually goes into a little bit of humour in Crush, where
she can channel water down a building.
Yeah, she knows that being a gargoyle to any human sounds really pathetic.
It's lame.
It's really lame.
Especially when the other options are dragon, which I'm assuming. I'm assuming there's a vampire.
Yep.
And I'm guessing a werewolf. Just because they're the cliches.
Yes.
Let me say there's probably more. Because.
Can you guess what Macy is?
A mermaid. Okay, you laugh. That's not
and I'm
real.
just like wondering, where did you get that from?
Macy is
in the middle of Alaska.
Macy is a swarm of pixies.
Swarm of pixies.
Yeah, she's not a single pixie. She is a formation of pixies.
Okay.
She is the pixie queen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, because she likes pink.
She does.
There you go.
She does love pink.
I'm glad I've taught you.
Yeah.
I've taught you about the book. Give me another character. There's not many other characters I've met.
Finn.
Uncle Finn.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Finn is
the daddy of the swarm of pixies.
Yeah. He is a merman.
A merman.
He is a merman. Yeah. And they work together because the pixies take control of land and the mermen take control of the ocean.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Alaska is snow.
Uh-huh.
And what is that?
Water.
And land.
Water and land.
There we go.
Wow.
I know. Blown your mind. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know how. I guess my theory is that you infect the new girl. Like she said, Macy said that there was another school from 5th grade. No, I don't know what 5th grade is. So they were all in another school, and then they moved to here, and now there's a big clique. So now I'm wondering, is this all the same year? Is this everybody?
Everyone stayed the same school and classes.
I'm gonna guess that some of them are older than their actual age.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yes.
Oh, we've got some 200-year-olds probably.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everybody loves the 200-year-old vampire that likes to sleep with the 16-year-old girl.
Yes. Yeah. That's
It's a crowd favourite. That one.
It is. It's one of the things that just keeps happening.
As a 16-year-old girl, do you aspire for that?
It's also never the other way around.
No, it's not. No.
You'll never find the 200-year-old woman.
No, that's hot though.
Going to find
That's
a
hot.
16-year-old boy.
Yeah, as a 16-year-old boy, I can get on board with that. Yeah.
Well, as 16-year-old girls, we can definitely get on board with a 200-year-old man, especially if he looks exactly the same age as us.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No, not for you.
Don't know. It's a bit outplayed. It's a bit outplayed.
So you've got that sort of theory. Have you got any others that you want to lay out?
Other theories. I know it gets better. That's a theory.
Okay. What do you see happening in the rest of the book? What's the story arc of the first book?
The first book?
First book. I mean, you could do all 4 books if you want.
There doesn't seem to be a story.
No.
There seems to be, at the stage that I am, a girl learning how to live. She's like, oh, I'm hungry. My belly is making a rumbling sound and I don't know why. And they're like, you're hungry, Grace. And then she goes,
must be the altitude sickness.
It must be the altitude sickness.
It's the altitude sickness,
It's the altitude
guys.
sickness. That's why you're hungry. Or maybe because she's living on a diet of peanut butter and crackers.
And Pop-Tarts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's not healthy.
No.
What's wrong with this cook?
Yeah. And she's drinking a lot of, I think it's Dr. Pepper. Is it Dr.
That's
Pepper?
her drink, yeah.
The cherry one.
That's her drink.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be drinking a lot of water.
Do I talk about the tea lady?
Tea lady.
The tea lady.
The tea lady.
My theory about the tea
Mm-hmm.
is I think they're testing something in her.
Okay.
Because my theory is you need to be able to infect this girl with infecting juice from being a vampire or a werewolf or a merman or a pixie.
Uh-huh.
And you got to test them. You got to test the waters to see what they can do.
Kind of like making a demon drink holy water.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Did have a reaction.
Maybe they don't know what she is yet. See, I didn't think about this. I thought, oh, she's a blank slate. We wanted to call dibs on her.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I think the Dragon Boy wants to get with her and the vampire.
But in fact, it's scientific experiments to work out what her faction is.
I think Tea Lady is a vampire as well.
Okay.
Because she wasn't wearing stuff outside with Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And they're testing to see if vampireness can work with her. Yeah.
Vampireness. Okay.
Your vampireness.
Okay. Vampirety.
Vampirarity.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I think the tea was. But then she felt funny. I don't know. I don't know. She
did feel funny. It was the altitude sickness.
It was the altitude sickness.
It was I'm just going to keep repeating.
It was the altitude sickness.
It was the altitude sickness.
Yeah. So you keep saying that, and I think there's more to the altitude sickness than there maybe is.
It's the foreshadowing. It's the constant, like, you must drink water. It's the altitude sickness. Mm. It's like, how many times do you need to keep reminding her?
She needs to eat some vegetables when she needs. I'm sure that'll help. Yeah. A Pop-Tart is not a major food group.
It's not. No. It's not. So I did a few polls in the Instagram.
Okay. Where are we at the moment? We're about 35 minutes nearly.
Yeah, so
once we've got the do 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 plump, and then the like sound of and then the plump, and then the sound of crunching, like eating food.
It's not crunch.
Is it not?
It's the dragon flying.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I was Dragonfly. I thought it was this. Well, I originally thought it was the sound of footsteps on snow.
Oh.
Is it not?
No, it's the dragon's wings.
Oh, and then I thought it was somebody eating like a crunchy bar. Like, chomp, chomp.
Right.
That should be your poll. You need to ask people, what the hell did you think this was?
Well.
Okay, go on. What are these polls? What are the questions?
So the first...
Where can people find these polls?
The polls can be found on our Instagram, Crave Series Aesthetic.
Yeah.
We do Wingo Wednesdays every now and then. We are going to be looking for hopefully somebody that is a listener that would be liking to help us come up with the Wingo Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. We've done over 60 now.
Where's a Wingo Wednesday?
Wingo Wednesday is something that happens in Crush, and it's just a stupid little Wednesday. Like, it's kind of like Quiz Wednesday, Bingo Wednesday, Wingo Wednesday.
Okay.
So we come up with quizzes, we come up with like polls and like guessing games, matching pairs, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But we're running out of ideas.
Okay.
We are sapping our inspiration dry.
Okay.
So if anybody actually wants to help us with the Wingo Wednesdays,
and they can get hold of you via...
Get hold of us via the Instagram, message us on Crave Series Aesthetic, and we would love your help.
So that's on Wednesdays. You've got polls on Monday or Tuesday?
Polls are on a Monday or a Tuesday, and you can tell that they're happening because we are literally recording then and there.
Yeah.
The polls are ready to be read out at the end of the episode, essentially.
Okay.
So these are the polls. The first one is, do you consider audiobooks as reading?
I would like to, before I even see the results here, I would like to argue yes. Like, if I was to tell somebody, I would say to somebody, I am reading Crave at the moment.
Yes.
Because I'm listening to the audiobook. Mm-hmm. But I feel that's quite a purist way. I think the people who read the books go, no, you can't, that doesn't count, you're not putting in the time.
You are. In fact, you're putting in more time.
Am I?
I can read faster than having someone read to me.
Do you know what would be really nice? If I could listen to 2 audiobooks at the same time.
Oh, you probably could.
No, I don't think I could. I'm pretty good at being able to listen and talk at the same time. Like, if somebody tells me something, I can repeat it back to them like 5 seconds later. Mm-hmm. It's like a cached memory.
What's your favourite that you've ever read, listened to?
Thank you. My favourite audiobook? Mm-hmm. For the overall story, it's so cliche, but I've really enjoyed the Harry Potter books. Mm-hmm. Like, the Harry Potter books actually sort of made me tear up a little bit at the end, because it's such a long journey to go through.
Yeah.
There are some audiobooks I like the first book, and then it kind of pitters away. Hunger Games falls under that.
Ender's Game.
Ender's Game is one of the best books I've ever read, but the series is a drag. Once it starts getting a bit political, when it gets to the sections about
him travelling on his own to the different planets.
Yeah, but also the bits about his brother and sister. It's like the Hermione and stuff. I was like, I can't. Give me back to the battle camp. I also really liked Gone.
Yes,
the Gone series.
I recommended that to you.
You recommended that, and the first book was amazing. Mm-hmm. And then the second book, it's also pretty good.
Yeah.
And then it's
Michael Grant just kept adding books.
Just pitters away. And I don't think I finished it. I think they were still making it as I was going.
I think he still is.
Yeah. Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
Oh my god. That's a good series if you're sort of a young adult enjoyer.
Yes.
It's about everybody over the age of 14 disappearing.
Yes.
Yes, everybody over the age of 14 disappearing.
It's very, what's it called?
I don't know.
Lord of the Flies?
Lord of the Flies, yeah. It's where the kids take over.
It's very Lord of the Flies. And a bit like Hunger Games, where it's like all about survival.
Yeah, it's
in a dome.
If you want, yeah, with a dome, exactly. So let's say Hunger Games, Lord of the Flies, and X-Men.
Yes.
Just throw that all in there.
Yes.
Very good.
I really enjoyed Gone. It was to the point where they were introducing so many new characters that I couldn't keep up with who could do what. Mm-hmm. Kind of like when you might jump into X-Men First Class without have listened or watched any of the other ones before, and you're like, who are these people?
Yeah.
I don't know who these people are, and then you realise that they aren't really important.
Yeah. Other books, The Martian, I really enjoyed the book. I think that's a lot better than the movie. And Ready Player One. Ready Player One is an amazing book.
You didn't enjoy the second one again?
No, I did not enjoy Ready Player 2. Because they're not likeable characters at that point. I got a few I think I got a couple of hours in, and I was like, no, this isn't for me.
I've even pushed some of my favourite books. Like my favourite book, Aragon, you absolutely hated.
I didn't finish it, though.
You just keep complaining about it.
I don't mean to, but they very much force it down your throat of like, here's a thing you don't know. Here's a word I'm going to keep using, and you don't know what it is. It's a big learning curve on that one. But I assume once you sort of learn the lingo.
Yep. So what would you guess? So the results are yes, of course, and no reading is very different. We have 146 votes.
146 votes. Wow.
What would you say the percentage?
I didn't know people listen to this podcast. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And I don't think even a tenth of our listeners have answered it.
I would say you got quite a young audience.
Yes.
I'm going to say yes. I think they do think reading an audiobook counts.
The results
Go on.
are 48% yes, of course. 52% no. Reading is very different.
Wow, that's very close, though.
It's very close.
I think it depends on what you enjoy. I would say the 48% there of the enjoying audiobooks listen to audiobooks. I can't see much in the Venn diagram.
There are some people that genuinely don't have time.
Yeah, me.
They have to drive, they commute, they listen to the book. Some people do, like, they will listen to a chapter on the way to work. Mm-hmm. They will read the book throughout the day at different points.
Yep.
And then they will listen to the rest of it on an audiobook on the way home.
Yeah.
So they're actually using a little bit of both. I just cannot absorb information through auditory at all.
The reason I would go audiobook for me personally is I struggle to maintain concentration when reading. Mm-hmm. It's the sitting still and just like, oh, it's just too...
Okay, so I have a question. So when I'm reading...
When you're reading.
And there is...
I think you're mad at me, by the way. If I come in from work and you're in the living room reading on your Kindle or something...
I am.
Oh, you're mad at me?
This is what is going to go into it.
Oh, I see. Carry on.
So when I'm reading...
Let's air our dirty laundry.
I get into the zone where I can almost imagine the world. Mm-hmm. It is actually flowing for me. There is a point where I don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I'm within that world.
Yeah.
And if something comes in that is external, that isn't part of the reading, mm-hmm. It's like you've been woken up from a dream.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you have that with audiobooks?
No.
So you can just pause it whenever and you don't have an issue?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I like that you're listening, or sorry, not listening, because God forbid we can do that. You're reading Crave, and they're like, "Get on my back, little spider monkey," and like she jumps on and they're climbing, and you're like, "I'm climbing. I'm in these trees with him. Oh, Jackson. Oh, Finley. I don't know. Finley. Yeah. Flint.
Hudson.
Flint. Oh, Hudson. Mm-hmm. And then I'm like, hey! And you're like, oh.
You didn't do the washing up.
Oh, you're a human. Yeah. You don't have anything cool about you.
It's an interruption. It's an interruption to something that is a flowing. And as much as I know that it's absolutely fine, I can just go back to this in 5 minutes for whatever I need to do. Mm-hmm. It's getting back to that dream.
Oh.
Because then you have to like start and you read it again and you're like, oh, I guess.
Do you want to go read in the car?
There's no flow.
Do you want to go read in the car?
I can read in my garage. Just sit there like, leave me alone.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's very interesting. I found that very interesting. What other thoughts you got?
So the second poll is, does your partner read or listen to audiobooks?
Now, this is you assuming that most of your audience is female, is it?
I think that they are.
Okay.
But also I know that a lot of them are young and might not actually have a partner yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
So...
Also, you might be really lucky and get a partner who does like reading. Do you like that I don't read? Or would you prefer?
I don't have any kind of preference towards it. I feel like if we were to both enjoy reading...
Yeah. It would be very quiet in this house.
It would be very quiet in this house. Yeah. And if we were to both be reading, we would both be reading separate books.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like when you're watching a series together.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What would it be called if we read the same books?
Yeah.
We won't do that.
You don't like my books?
I don't. But I do like that you read.
Yeah.
I like that you read because we get some pretty sexy bookcases downstairs. Yeah. They're like voice-activated lights and little book nooks and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's quite nice. Anyway, carry on.
Does your partner read or listen to audiobooks? Mm-hmm. We've got yes, almost as much as me, occasionally, or no, never. What do you think the most voted for option was?
I think reading is a dying art. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say no.
Yep. 76 votes, so 66% of people said no, never.
That's not a lot of interest. First one had 146? That was 77? The first question had 146.
This has 110.
Oh, 110 people have
voted across the three.
Okay.
So the 66% of people said no, never.
Uh-huh.
And then 28% of people said occasionally.
Yeah.
And then 6% said yes, almost as much as me. 6% have partners who read just as much as I.
So if you read books or enjoy audiobooks, you are a rare breed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I also think it's a very feminine hobby.
I don't know if that's true.
I don't think that it is as socially acceptable for a man to have bookcases full of books that are like fiction. If they
Maybe fiction, yeah.
They're reading like War and Peace and like literature. That is not just their hobby, then it becomes their job, and they're a book editor and things like that.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next poll is, would your partners read Crave?
I'm gonna say, well, give me the options.
We got yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would if I asked them to.
Yeah.
And no, definitely not their cup of tea.
I'm gonna say no, definitely not their cup of tea.
47% of people said no, definitely not their cup of tea.
Yeah.
30% said I'm sure they would if I asked them to.
Okay.
23% said yes.
Really?
Yep.
Ah.
So we've got some people there that are...
they're reading Crave together.
They're reading Crave together. It's adorable.
Like us.
Yeah.
Kind of.
And then the final poll is, how much does your partner act like the main characters?
I didn't know
in
you
your
put this one
fantasy
up.
books?
I didn't know you put this one up.
How much do I act like a main character in a fantasy book?
What, the protagonist?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't say.
Do I know how to make a snowball?
Do you know? I don't know. We've been married for a couple of years.
We've never had a snowball fight.
We've been together since what, 2014?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen you make a snowball.
No.
So let's say no.
He said exactly the same, by the way, guys, about me riding a bike. He
What?
thought that I couldn't ride a bike because he'd never seen me ride a bike and swim.
I don't think I've seen you swim.
He's like, so therefore you cannot swim. Like, hey, I can. I just choose not to.
That's quite bad, isn't it? We've been together like 8 years.
Never had a snowball fight.
And we've never gone for a tandem bike ride.
To be fair.
We need to go on a tandem bike ride with a wicker basket.
We need to go on a triathlon. Snowball fight followed by a bicycle ride followed by a swim.
Okay, all right. We'll put that in next week.
You don't want to have a swim followed by a snowball fight because
I think we should combine it.
like just
I think we should go swimming on a
ice.
bike, throwing snowballs.
pedalo.
Pedalo. Yeah, pedalo is a great idea. We'll put that with a swan. I'll put that with a swan.
A swan with a little Santa hat.
Yeah.
Nice little winter.
That's a great idea.
Winter pedalo.
Oh, I'm glad we've had this moment.
So yeah.
Sorry.
How much does your partner act like the main character in a fantasy book?
Is that just generic?
Just generic.
I'm the protagonist. I'm so important. I'm so angsty. You? Never.
No.
No. I'm going to say quite a bit, though. I think if you consume it quite a lot, and like you said, it's like a dream where you're part of that. When you say it's a dream, do you make it like your Grace?
No.
Or are you just like...
I am very much a spectator.
You're Bill.
I'm the video camera.
You're Bill. You stand
Bill?
you're Bill. You stand next to the lockers and you're watching Grace.
Yeah.
And then, like...
I'm the janitor.
Yeah.
I'm Filch.
Yeah.
No, I'm very much like almost like a video camera. Like I'm following the crew around.
Okay.
I still like in my head go, that's a stupid idea. Mm-hmm. Why are you doing that?
Yeah.
I feel like if I was putting myself in the shoes of the protagonist, I would not be doing half of the things that she was doing. I would be like, this is a stupid idea. This is dumb. Yeah. So to be like almost like a camera crew following them around is an easier way for my brain to process what she's doing.
I do think that as an author, you can't have a character like that. If you had a character that was like...
Nothing would happen.
It'd be really boring.
Nothing would happen.
It'd be real life. And
like,
no one wants to read that.
If it was me, and I turned up to Alaska at this boarding school, and this guy approached me and forced me up against a chessboard and was really rude to me, had a huge scar on his cheek. Yeah. It doesn't matter how attractive he would be. Mm-hmm. I would be like, I'm going to get the fuck out. I don't want to be here anymore. And Macy at that point hadn't made enough of an impact on Grace for her to even have that loyalty to Macy to stay. Yeah. So I would have just left. Yeah. Even if I knew that I had nowhere else to go, you still had Heather.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Heather's going to die. Like, not die, but die off.
Yeah.
She seems like such a non-character at this point.
Yeah, we don't actually really meet her. It's all through just like
I
video
don't know.
trying to, because we're so far away.
She just texts.
We had a theory.
And she's like, any hot guys or girls?
Yeah, so
Lol.
she's bi.
And then
She's bi.
Okay.
I thought that it was a sort of reference to the fact that Grace might have been bi. But it wasn't.
I don't even think about it.
Heather is.
I haven't even thought about that. But then she takes a picture of, then Grace takes a picture of Macy and says something or other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Starla had this theory for a very long time that Heather was secretly paranormal or disappeared for a bit and got captured and turned into a paranormal. But then we couldn't think of what she could be, so she turned into a werecrab.
Yeah.
And that's just been
a werecrab.
The running joke is that Heather werecrab.
Heather werecrab. I mean, maybe. I wouldn't put anything past it.
I'm like, she lives in San Diego. There's not very many paranormals that are running around that wouldn't be able to turn her into something.
Okay.
Like, there's not going to be like abominable snowmen.
She's a snowman.
There's going to be werecrabs.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That wasn't... Yeah. It's a running joke. You had to be there.
Apparently I did. Yeah.
Yeah. So, in terms of acting like a main character...
That was the original question. We've gone on such a tangent. I do apologise. I want to
And
apologise
we were like,
to all of your listeners.
We'll keep it to half an hour, guys.
Yeah.
We'll keep it to half an hour, 51 minutes later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're talking about a book you couldn't give a shit about.
I really couldn't. I wish I was listening to something else today. But I think that's part of it, though, isn't it?
At least we haven't had a moment of silence.
We haven't.
There wasn't a, like, what we say?
Yeah, you know, I like you.
Thanks.
I think we get on.
We're kind of close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just have, you know, I like you and stuff.
Yeah. So in terms of being main character.
Yes.
In fantasy novels,
mm-hmm.
men are very written differently to what you are. I've never had a relationship like the supernatural fantasy because obviously I've never been in a relationship with a vampire.
Is this going to be a compliment or an insult?
But there are certain things that they write into fiction, especially erotica and like smut, what I call smut.
Okay.
That when you're reading it, it's really sexy.
Okay.
But if a man did it to you in real life, it would be the cringiest thing ever.
Well, no, it would. I look at this stuff and go, you don't treat women like that. I'm not pinning no one up against a chessboard.
But women love to read that because they're like, oh, if I was...
We don't even own a chessboard. No, we do.
We do.
It's a...
Oh.
So I told you this was going to be scuffed. I apologise of sounds. There's an echo as well. There's a train going by. I'm looking at
coffee cups tipping down.
There's waveforms all over the place. I really do apologise. This is going to be scuffed, but we will go back to regular programming next week.
So anyway, there are certain things that men do in fantasy novels that help grab the girl. Okay. And one of them is growling.
Growling.
Yeah. So whenever meow. So whenever Hudson feels like Grace is being propositioned by somebody other than him, he does this protective growl, like a predatory growl and stuff.
Oh, I see.
Right? Yeah. And it's like, if somebody did that to me, I'd be like, are you okay?
I mean, I think it's more prominent now than when we were at school, but there's the kids that growl and meow and stuff. Yeah,
it's a little bit Tourette's-y.
It's a little bit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember when we were in school, there were people that would like roar like a dinosaur.
Yeah, but then that's when you're a child. I mean, when I was a child.
I'm saying like 15, 16.
Oh, no, when I was at primary school, I definitely pretended I was a leopard.
I'm gonna use this platform to make the world slightly better. If you're the kind of person that growls or meows, don't do that.
If you can control it.
Yeah, we have a friend with Tourette's that sometimes...
He meows at people when he walks around the supermarket.
Yeah, he does.
He's surprised. He's like, meow.
Yeah. Quack. Yeah, it makes...
But yeah, if you can control it, there are certain things that are just a bit odd.
Don't act like an anime character.
No.
Don't do that.
The growls.
The growling.
The growls.
So you don't want me to growl at you? You're pausing.
I'm pausing.
You're pausing.
Because I've never been growled at, so I can't really say that it's something...
I'm going to shock you with a growl.
Shock me with a growl?
I'm going to shock you with a growl.
I think
I'll wake you up with one tomorrow.
I think it's that fine line between feeling threatened, but also knowing that you're the one that's safe from them. That everyone else in the world is at risk because you are so dangerous, but I'm the one that's safe because you love me.
I mean, you are. The world is dangerous.
You couldn't do shit. What are you going to do? Hit them with a socket wrench?
A socket wrench?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm going to hit them with a socket wrench.
Yeah.
What other tools will I use?
A monkey wrench.
That's an American thing. We don't call it a monkey wrench. So
Crowbar.
Yeah.
Not a pry bar.
No.
Crowbar.
Different sizes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a difference between, so you got like blackbird, crow, raven, pry.
Well, there are different sizes. You can get a nail bar, you can get a crowbar, pry bar. Yeah, there are different things. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Hacksaw.
You know, I'm a mad person. I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
I've never seen you angry enough.
Yeah, you have.
I've never seen you angry enough to hurt someone.
You've seen me angry.
No.
Taxi.
That was fake angry.
That's not fake angry.
That was you've taken my money and
we were in COVID. I was going to go down to their place, but because of COVID, they were working from home and I didn't know where they lived. Yeah, no, I'm not going to be that guy.
No,
I'm not going to be that guy. No.
You don't have to be.
No, I've already got you. You can't go anywhere. I lock the door when I leave. You're not allowed to go.
Oh.
Yeah, I've changed the locks. I haven't let you know.
But yeah, there are certain things that, like, when you're reading in fantasy novels, that there's very strange things that men do that, in a way, you're like, oh, I wish my man does that. And
okay, so
like,
other than growling and pushing up against chessboards, what else can I do? Or your other male listeners, what can they do?
Put yourself in front of me. Like, whenever there's a threat, just
all the time.
Straight, like, shove me behind you.
Just all the time. You've boiled the kettle and you're about to make yourself a drink. I'm like, no, my drink.
My drink. And there is a very strange thing that they say very, very early on in any novel where there is a supernatural man. Mm-hmm. He says, "You're mine," and it's you're mine. You're like a possession, and it's never like I'm yours. It's always you're mine. Like, okay. I belong to you, and there's no other way of me going around it. It's not that you are equally as mine. It is, I am yours, and I have to just stay there.
Okay.
And if I wanted somewhere else, if I wanted to leave, if I was in love with someone else, it would be just an issue because, like, well, no, because you're mine.
Yeah.
That is so unhealthy.
It's not great, and it doesn't do well for the female mind. No,
and it's never the woman that says it first. It's never the woman that says, you're mine. It's always the man, and then the woman just goes, oh, okay.
I can't reach these expectations. I think your books that you read are portraying men in ways that I can't achieve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a TikTok. I can't remember what the TikTok channel is, but she gets her husband to enact certain things that are in fantasy novels, it's like tropes.
Okay.
And one of them is like a eyebrow furrow, just like a really just proper using your eyebrows.
This is great for a podcast. I can see you with your eyebrows.
But getting really angry, and there's this point where she's like this, and then she's showing in the mirror, and she's doing it herself, and she went, "Oh, actually."
Yeah.
I don't need you anymore. It just walks off.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, but you actually look like insane.
Yeah.
There are certain things that reading is great. In real life.
Okay.
No, don't do it.
Okay. Well, I will be furrowing my brow and growling at you and
just look angry.
Moving you out of the way.
Just be a bit angry, you know?
Just be a bit angry. You don't want to be a bit angry.
Just be a bit angry.
You want to feel safe at home.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
I think that's also part of it, is that if I did do any of that, or another gentleman, to the correct woman. Not any gentleman to you, please. Please.
There is another thing where they find their perfect mate, and that's it.
In this book?
Yeah, that's it. They find each other's mate, and then that's it. And it is a case where they sort of... You know how you've described couples before, where one of them is a 20%?
Yeah. So
the other is at 80%.
So quickly, that theory is that I think a relationship works if the couple work out to be 100, and it's
like a score.
It's like a score of 100. We have a friend who the female of the relationship is very loud and very takes control of stuff.
Vivacious.
But whereas the man is very sort of quiet and
withdrawn.
He's quite withdrawn. So I would describe that as like a 75-25, where he's the 25, she's the 75. And you need those people. You can't have two 75s together because they just and you also can't have two...
trying to take control.
Yeah, and you can't have two 25s because then nothing ever gets done. You need the two. And you don't know what you are.
Nope.
What would you say we are?
I think it depends on the scenario.
Okay.
But I would say that, like, you're about an 80 and I'm about a 20.
You go that high?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that much.
I'm very meek.
You are quite quiet.
Yeah.
You are
But
quite
at the
quiet.
same time, like, a situation like this, where I know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I feel a lot more confident.
Yeah.
Because I am now, what is
Oh,
it,
I'm a
20? Is it 28 weeks now into this where I know what I'm doing?
Yeah. 29 actually, because you missed last week.
29 weeks into
Yeah.
this, and like, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm talking about, so therefore I feel a bit more confident. When I was at Crufts, there wasn't ever a moment where I felt overwhelmed and didn't know what to say.
You're in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the moment that somebody pushes me into a scenario where I don't know what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I immediately feel like I'm on the wrong foot and I don't know what to do.
Okay.
And I think that comfort zones are things that I have to really slowly get into.
Mm-hmm.
But once I'm in them, I'm fine. It takes me a lot to get into them. You're the person that actually goes, this comfort zone needs to actually happen. Like, I didn't want to do today. No. Because I was like, I don't want to be the dominant. Ever.
Oh, because you're going to have to host. Yeah, exactly. I can't come in.
Ever.
I can't come in and be like, hi guys, welcome to episode 28. And they'll be like, who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you have to take the lead.
Yes.
Yeah. You've done a good job.
Thank you very much.
Great job.
Yeah.
We probably should wrap it up though. We have just gone over the hour mark.
Yes.
Yeah.
So next week we should go back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
It is all dependent on whether Starlet is up for recording again.
Mm-hmm.
Last week was a little bit of a blip because Starla was very, very sick, and then I went to Crufts on the day that was going to be our like backup date for being able to record.
Yeah.
I came back on Monday and she thought that I was going to be dead and unsociable because I had been crufted. Apparently cruft is a verb now.
Okay.
I had crufted.
And what is Cruft? Cruft is a...
Crufts is the world's biggest dog show. And
in the UK?
No.
In the world?
The world's biggest dog show in the UK.
But it is hosted in the UK?
It's hosted in the UK. Over 160,000 people went. And I was there for all 4 days with my dog Pixel. So I came back and my throat was very hoarse. I had no voice. But at the same time, having 12 hours of sleep really bumped me back up to normal. And she thought that I was going to be just too antisocial to be able to record yesterday. I wasn't. I was just waiting for her to reply back to me, and then it didn't happen. And then today is not good for her. So we should return back to normal.
Yeah.
We're also hoping to have a few episodes recorded in lieu so that
this doesn't happen
doesn't happen again, because we never want to leave you guys without.
Yeah.
Which is why Mr. Amber Marie said that he wanted to do this episode for you guys.
Yeah. Because you were going to go a second week without, and you got like dedicated listeners.
We don't want to leave you hanging.
Yeah.
So we will be back with our Wingo Wednesdays tomorrow. I will come up with an idea for what we can do.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And then the ASMR happens on Sunday or Friday. I know that Starla has worked out a new schedule.
She's just sorted that out.
She's sorted it out. It has been scheduled already. And then we will be back on Wednesday again for our normal podcast. And those will actually be the chapters that we have now read for 2 weeks.
Yeah. This has been a bit of a special.
Yes.
So anybody binging the podcast, they get to this weird one.
And they're like, what the hell is this going on?
If it goes well, we might do some more specials.
Yeah.
Because we can always record them once I start to read a little bit more and then just have them in the pipeline.
Yeah.
If this happens again, you're just like, we'll have another.
Yeah. I could force you to read the sex scene.
Is there a sex scene?
There is a sex scene.
Which book are we on?
This is in...
Clutch.
Covet.
Cover.
In Covet.
Okay.
In Covet there is a sex scene, but it's very much a fade to black, and it's really disappointing.
Do you want to fill it in?
You could fill it in.
I could fill it in.
Fill it in.
We will make it Crave the Podcast After Dark.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think it's one of those scenes where you're like, was that a blowjob?
Oh, wow, okay.
Or was that sex? I'm not really sure.
Oh, maybe they leave it open to the imagination.
Like, what else does a woman do when her head is down there and she's undoing her belt? She's undoing your belt. There's a blowjob, right?
No idea.
But it fades to black. Shut up.
Never heard of it.
But it fades to black. And then I'm like, wait, what? What was that? So yeah, I'll make you read the sex scene and let you know. Because have you ever read Smart?
Do you want that? I tell you, have I ever read Smart?
Read Smart.
Yeah, I think I have.
Okay.
Tell you what, would you like me to do it for the ASMR? I'll read it out.
Yes. That would be a very strange episode.
Yeah.
Not safe for work.
Not safe for work.
Dragon court sex scene.
Grace bent down. Began to undo.
Oh no,
Jackson's
she's like,
belt.
bite me, Hudson, bite me, just do it,
Hold
do it.
on. So Hudson's in real life?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
When does this happen?
She does some weird witchy woo with like 4 sort of token objects and calls to... This is one of those things that really gripes me.
Okay.
It is always, the full moon is tomorrow. Must do the spell by tomorrow. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why is it always tomorrow? Why is it never, oh shit, we missed it. It was last week.
Okay.
It's always about to happen.
Yeah, oh crap. 22 days we got to wait. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So...
We won't do that. I do worry that this podcast kind of divulged into just us talking about our marriage. There's a little bit in there that's like, maybe not great to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Which bit?
All of it. All of it is all terrible. We apologise.
Yeah, I mean, me and Stella talk about our marriage all the time.
Yours and Star's marriage. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have a marriage, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'd lose you if we ever moved to America.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never see you.
We have joked about maybe buying a convent and then...
A convent?
Yeah, just like living there together.
Did you do?
Yeah.
Me and her husband.
You be sister husbands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll give you little bonnets.
Good. I can make muffins. I'll make great muffins. Okay. Well, this might be the last time
You'll give you a rota for when you're allowed to come and see us.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. And you've got to make sure that you grow out your hair, but you have to never ever let anybody see your hair.
Okay.
So we just have to go on the faith that you've grown your hair and that hair is super lush and beautiful.
All body hair or just...
All body hair.
Whoa.
Everything.
Can I Jason Momoa, like, bead it?
Yeah.
All my body
Shaving
hair?
is sinful.
We're getting off topic. So yeah, I want to... go on. Did you want to...
So yeah, so look out for our ASMR this weekend. Those are hosted on our Crave the Podcast, Crave the Book YouTube channel.
Make sure you subscribe.
Make sure you subscribe
Make
and
sure
like.
you ring that bell.
And press the bell icon for notifications. And also make some suggestions as to which ASMRs you'll be interested in listening to. We do have issues of, we have great ideas. It's just what footage do we use for them? Because it's a very fantasy world and there's nothing that exists that could be similar.
Yeah.
The last one that was uploaded was either a movie night in Macy's room or the taffy scene from the court trials, which are really, really fun to listen to. So go and have a listen
She does
to
a very
those.
good job on those.
She does. So have a listen to those. I know she's got 2 lined up already, ready for the next couple of weeks. And we will be back to our normal scheduled podcast next Wednesday.
Well, my love, thank you for having me on. It's
You're
been a
very
joy. I hope that people didn't turn off after 5 seconds.
Like,
Go,
who
this
the-
is a man.
who the hell is this?
I don't like the man.
Yeah. Well,
So
your voice is very soothing.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been nervous. There's lots. I've been nervous. There's lots of ums. I know. There's been so many ums.
It's natural.
Yeah, I'm on your stomping ground here.
Yeah.
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 This is not my normal.
No, you're pissing up my fire hydrant.
I'm pissing up your fire hydrant. I don't know what that means.
So anyway.
But normally you record in my office, which is where we are.
We now need to introduce Scott to the bye-bye.
I know it because I can hear it from downstairs.
Yeah. So, you ready?
Okay, coming in.
3, 2, 1. Bye-bye!